What's up, Soul Tribe family? This is Soliel. I am the owner and the CEO and the founder of Soul Rise Essentials. Today we are back with another episode of Soul Seed Conversations. This is episode number 9. I almost put up the wrong amount of fingers. Episode number 9. Shout out to y'all already coming up in the room. So who are we? So Soul Rise Essentials is a unisex affirmation and apparel brand. We offer merch, t-shirts, necklaces, hats, jewelry, accessories, all that stuff for resilient humans on the grow and their littles. So we have sizes for the entire family. That's what we do. So we're based in Richmond, Virginia. I am the everything behind the brand, but we also have a really big focus on mental wealth, global mental wealth. I said wealth. I did mean to say wealth, but we also have a global focus on global mental wellness as well. So this podcast is a wellness podcast. It happens every single month. Normally it's every third Thursday, but we kind of shift our schedule around based on the thrivers that come and sit in the soul seat and share their resilience stories with us, y'all. So we exist to connect, create community, and to share new ways to thrive on your wellness and healing journey. So yes, we have nice affirmation apparel, but we also like to share resilient stories from around the world to encourage you on your journey. So good morning, good afternoon. I know y'all are in different places around the US, maybe abroad, I'm not sure, but thank y'all for joining me. This is an interactive series. So ask questions, put emojis, whatever you want to do. Just give props where props are due, give encouragement. But I'm super, super excited. So I do have a couple announcements, and then we're going to bring our guest in at 12:15. I like to log in a little bit early to kind of connect with y'all, check in with y'all, see where you are. I see some more people joining the Soul Tribe family. Thank y'all for being here. Shout out to Francis, the Arts RVA, a drop of golden gems, Sister Big Bones. What's up, y'all? Thank y'all for joining. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. The more I do these, I know I said this is episode 9. The more I do these, the more comfortable I get. But right before I hit the live button, y'all, I still get kind of nervous. Okay. But it's going to be good. I'm so excited. All right. So I already talked about who I am, what I do. Go to our website anytime. You can shop at soulriseessentials.com, and the spelling is right up here. You're going to notice when you get on our website there is a pop-up, so it's going to ask for your email. You want to join that. You want to join our VIP Soul Tribe family because you get exclusives, and you also get a 15% discount. So go shop. Okay. So we have my Grateful Guided Mama T. I have that on today. I also have children's apparel, children's jewelry. These are some of our hats, our Pack Light affirmation caps. We have our Pack Light shirts, and we have some new merchandise coming out too, y'all. So go check that out. If you're watching the replay, drop in the comments below some sunrise, little sunshine emojis down to the bottom, and let me know you're watching the replay. Y'all, if you're already in the room, go ahead and share this with somebody. Share this with somebody that loves to talk about all things mental health, all things mental wellness, growth, people that like to laugh, have a good time, but also we like to be on the serious side a little bit too. Thank you for dropping some sunshines in the comments, y'all. I appreciate it. But go ahead and tag somebody. Tag somebody in this video. Let them come watch it with you. I guarantee y'all are going to be inspired and so moved by today's guest, Mikah Jones. I'm so excited to have him. He is a big mental wellness influencer. I don't know why my words escaped me just now, but he'll be coming on in about 1 more minute. And I shot my shot, and he on the show today. So I'm so excited, y'all. Let me get through all my little announcements real quick. Talked about that. If you want to share your resilience story, or you know somebody that should be on this platform sharing their resilience story and how they are getting over or getting through, or how they've gotten through whatever it is they've gone through, any trauma, any life obstacles, whatever that may be, we just want to make sure the story is a good fit. But you can tag them, send this video to them, send our entire series to them, and you can email us at mystory@soulriseessentials.com. That's right, we got an email now, so you can send us an email. We're just going to do a quick overview of your story to make sure it's a good fit for our platform, and then we're also just going to reach out and set up a quick phone call and make sure things are, nice and gravy to share your story. But you don't have to have a fancy title or a fancy accolade or anything like that. Just be a human that's going through some things, has gone through some things, but you're trying to get on the other side to be a better version of yourself, and you're doing that inner work. So that is that. So we are just going to hopefully welcome Mikah up in here very, very soon. I see. Hey, Mike, thanks for joining me. How y'all doing today? Happy Thursday. And if this is your first Soul Seat, let me know down below. If you've come to any other Soul Seat conversations, let me know down below. If you are watching the replay, hey Mikah, if you're watching the replay and you want to see past episodes, or if you're not watching the replay and you've never been here before, go to YouTube and type in Soul Rise Essentials and you'll see every single episode from this mental wellness podcast, but it's also up on our IGTV. So I got a request from Mikah. Let me drink some water real quick. Okay. Y'all know I be going. All right, y'all. Let me let Mikah up in here so he can get up in the soul. Okay, so this is your second Soul Seat, Sister Big Bone 606, Miss Yo Yo. What's
Hello.
up? How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. I'm doing wonderful. Been working through a lot of fear in my heart this morning, so it's been a really transformative morning.
It's been a transformative morning for me too. Tell me what you've been feeling. Tell me.
Well, right now I'm working through the fear of my own power. I'll just keep it
Mm.
simple. Fear of
Okay.
my own power and all of the abundance that I know is waiting for me just on the other side of this fear. I've been pushing it away and not wanting to embrace it. But truthfully, I have to allow the fear to enter my heart just as much as I allow the abundance. And that's what will create impact for the world. So just stuff I
I
got to work through so I can be of better service to people.
I love that. And thank you for sharing that, because for some reason, of course, before I introduce you formally, for some reason I was feeling something in my spirit this morning. I'm like, what is this? So I talked about it a little bit, did a little bit of meditation, did some breath work, and I actually put on my skates. I went outside, I put on my quads, and I just skated for a little bit. I'm like, I need to move whatever this energy is. So thank you for sharing that. It sounds like we're kind of like on the same wavelength, but we're also committed to the process and seeing what's on the other side. So
Absolutely. Yeah, it's a
thank you for
beautiful.
joining the Soul Seat, Mikah. Let me push my camera back just a little bit. Give me a second. Sorry, y'all. Technical difficulties, but I want y'all to be able to see what I need you to see.
Hello, everyone here from my account. Thank you for being here. Thank you for joining in. If you want to learn anything new about me, stick around because you'll learn quite a bit. She's going to ask some pretty awesome questions.
Yes. So, Mikah Jones. So, we met each other on Instagram, right? We are
Yeah.
perfect strangers. But at the same time, I feel like you have a spirit about you that just feels familiar. It feels safe. And it's one of the reasons why I wanted to welcome you on today's podcast. So just tell them like who you are. They already know your name, but go ahead and just reintroduce yourself and tell them what you do.
Oh, man. Oh, gosh. I am Mikah Jones. I am that on the internet, but truthfully, I am just a service for your transformation. I am just the messenger from your heart. And what I do is a numerous amounts of things, but what will be talked about today is I help other people tap into their heart space and guide them on their healing journey.
Yes, it's a beautiful thing. So what I've come to know about you and how I was able to come across your content, I understand it to be spiritual, mental health content, right? So I do want to talk to you a little bit about that going forward. But just for people, my folks, the Soul Trap family that have not been formally introduced to you yet, he makes some amazing content. And it was on my Explore page one day. And I'm like, wow, this really resonates with me and my journey. We're going to talk about a little bit about why later. But I started to follow him and just kind of resonated with the things that he posted. And a lot of it has to do with family trauma and specifically dealing with our parents. So we're going to talk about it today. And like Mikah said, he's going to reintroduce himself to his family as well online and share more about why he started doing what he's doing, because I'm always really interested in people like you that do the work that you do, wellness work or mental health work. There's always a story. So I wanted to just kind of tap into that with you. And I see y'all talking to us in the comments. We're definitely going to acknowledge them, but definitely keep engaging with us. Yeah, I wanted to fill you out and figure out why Mikah is on this journey. You know, what made you go public about everything. So let's get started. Welcome to the Soul Seat.
All right.
And I wanted to ask you, well, we already talked about what you do. Give me a little bit more context around the type of content. I feel like I just answered that question myself, so I'm gonna skip that one. But what made you decide to go public with the type of content that you do? Because it's very controversial.
You know, I feel like like when I was going through like my healing process, I had my first spiritual awakening at the age of 10. So like that's not a great thing. So, like, because a bunch of other 10-year-olds are just busy, playing toys and playing Minecraft and playing sports. I was just really busy about like, what is this voice in my head? And like, why
Mm,
am I seeing the world this way? And that led me to a very isolated journey. I didn't have anyone to help me. I didn't have a spiritual mentor till 5 years after that. Like it took me 5 years of just fucking around and doing a bunch of random stuff in order to even get to where I am right now. And
yeah.
honestly, I feel like there's a bunch of other people who also are having that same awakening, having that same understanding, and they need a little bit of guidance. And I see everyone in here, regardless if you see it that way, as you're just younger versions of myself on the journey. You're expressions of me, just like I'm expressions of you. And I just want to help guide people to their highest understanding from wherever I'm at on that.
Yeah, that's a beautiful thing. So I'm not revealing how old you are until the very end, but I
Okay.
think that's going to be a really vital part of this conversation. So as far as the people that follow you, because I'm 31, do you feel like people are more my age, your age, are they older, younger? Because you seem to be so wise, like literally beyond your years. I'm an older person inspired by the things that you create.
I think there's been a mix. Like it's sad part right now. There's this. How do I put this? There's an audience of people who are in my age range who still live with their family, and that kind of makes it a little bit difficult with some of the stuff that I say because they're not financially independent or they don't have supportive parents. Um, but also there's like other half of my audience that is around your age group that does have kids that is looking to be trauma informed and have be a cycle breaker, right? If that, I think that's the
Yeah.
label we'll call that, right? To be a cycle breaker and not inflict that same trauma onto their children so they can grow up with healthier behaviors. So there's like
Yeah.
this balance of people, and I'm learning how to speak to both without pissing off the other. But Instagram can only do so well at picking the right people to see the content.
Somebody in the comments, Lola Indy says she's 57. That
Wow. Oh my goodness. I am so moved the fact that you're here and you're listening to whatever's coming out of my mouth.
I know,
That's
right?
a lot. Wow.
It's a beautiful thing, man. But I think it's a testament to just stripping everything like race, religion, your age, gender, all that stuff. Like at the end of the day, we're just, spirits having this human experience. And we all are on different journeys. I had a conversation with my mom, who's also in her 50s, and she said something to me. It was something that I've known for a very long time, but to her, she had just come into a realization of it. And it doesn't mean that I'm any better than her or she's any less, but like Lola Indy just said, we're all still just learning. So that's a beautiful thing. Thank you for sharing that in the comments. I also wanted to ask you, you spoke about trauma. Like, let's just kind of get into it. What is your journey and your experience with that? And like, when did it start?
It probably started when I was younger than 8, but everything's trauma. Like every single problem I occurred in my life was trauma based.
Mm,
And it was a huge breakthrough for me, but my trauma started, I'd say, probably at 8 because that's when I started to get really depressed. Like
mm,
my like understanding of the world completely changed. And I came from like this really, really happy, loving person that I am now, but like I was that like a little kid. I go up to like people, like anyone, I just say hi and want to get to know you and ask you questions about yourself. But now it's during that process, I think I just kind of developed this like I have to make other people happy. And I didn't understand that that also required me in that process. And I just kind of threw myself out for many years. Uh, my dad, for labels, I don't see him this way, but for people just to understand, he's a diagnosed nice narcissist, right? So manipulation, emotional, physical, mental abuse, the whole nine. I experienced that as a little kid. But all I really saw in him was like this sad ass dude. And like all I wanted to do was like to make him happy, but I didn't know how to do that without jeopardizing myself in the process. And it just kind of led me down this route of severe suicidal attempts and self hatred and self harm for many years until I got really fed up at around the age of 14.
mm.
I don't know if you want me to get into that yet. I hope that answered your question.
That did answer my question. I'm not sure where you were about to go, but I wanted to ask you as it pertains to like the suicide attempts. And also, I forgot to say this in the beginning, guys. I always say this, but we are not professionals. We are just humans sharing our lived experiences, and there may be some trigger warnings here as well. So just want you to be mindful of the kind of content that's going to be shared, but we're only sharing lived experiences. So always check in with a professional counselor, a mentor, someone else if you feel like you're in dire need of some help. So I just wanted to throw that out there. But I wanted to ask you, what did that look like? And how many times did you attempt to commit suicide?
3. None of them worked. All of them were in the bathtub. I didn't have the balls to jump out the window. That was just too much for me. I didn't have the balls to do that. But every single day I look past the bathtub and like, like in horror movies, like that eerie feeling, and and it attracts you. That's kind of what it felt like. It wasn't just like having to try and make my dad happy. Like I genuinely felt this like pressure on myself to try and make the world happy. Like, because everyone in my normal life, like even people I've never met, I don't know their name, would come up to me and start asking me advice about stuff that like I didn't even know I had knowledge in, but I ended up giving them something that would help them. But it's like the world was always trying to take from a cup that was barely filling, barely even being poured into. And that was what kept me in that state of just constant depression and mental breakdowns. And after a while, like I was almost pretty convinced I wasn't going to get out of that. Like I was so convinced that like this is just like, damn, like what the hell did I do last life to deserve such a cycle of suffering? And all just kind of to just realize like if the attempts aren't working, then that means there has to be a way out. And I kept realizing I went to a therapist for a little bit. They didn't help that much. I took antidepressants. That didn't do shit. I realized very early, and earlier than most people would, like, okay, it's me.
Yeah.
It's me. I'm the fucking issue here, and I need to become the solution. If I made myself the issue, then I can become the solution.
Because
And yeah.
I had a question. So when you said I'm the issue, what does that mean as pertains to you recognizing like your father had a lot to play in you being the issue? What do you mean when you say that?
I didn't realize he created majority of my experience for a long time.
Okay.
Like so like maybe like the age of 17, I didn't realize any of that.
Okay.
For the longest time I just thought it was me, because it was just like it was a mental health battle. That was all it was for me. It was just a mental health battle for long periods of time. Just trying self-improvement books, trying morning routines, trying stupid amounts of exercise, tried community. None of it worked, because if I wasn't doing it, then the feeling would go away, the mental break would come back, the suicidal thoughts would come back. It's like, okay, why? Like if all these things people are saying are helping, but like I don't want to be a slave to have to do those things for the rest of my life in order to feel better about myself and feel better about in my body and in my own mind. And that's when like I got into like spirituality, because that was the only thing that like I met a guy who was like, oh shit, he's cool up there. Like he ain't going crazy up there like I am.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I wanna be a part of that. And then he taught me a lot about the ego, taught me about meditation. Wasn't doing it right for many years, but just kept on the journey. It just kept moving forward and trying to figure out like, okay, I feel like I'm on the right path. I feel like this is going to be something for me. And throughout that whole process, I just kind of committed myself to being the solution and finding it. Like I became my own detective for my
I can't believe you got that at such a young age. That I feel for me, I feel that is the hardest part of the beginning stages, which is realizing that you got to take accountability, even though there were some outside forces and factors that, had a play in why you feel the way you feel. At some point, in order to change it, you have to understand that it's me. I have to do the work. A lot of people don't want to admit like I have to do the work, or maybe I am the problem, even though like I said there are outside forces, but it takes people a long time to realize that. And the fact that you got that so early, I think that is a testament as to why you are where you are now. I always say this, like nobody has arrived, we're all still on the journey, But I could just tell just by looking in your eyes and just talking to you. I haven't met you, but I just see that for the most part, you're at peace with what you've had to endure. And it's like you've changed your perspective around it. You're not worried about your dad. You know, you're worried about yourself. So I also wanted to ask you, what made you decide to go public? Because this is your father. And he gonna see this, and if he don't see it,
Oh
somebody else
yeah.
gonna see it. They gonna forward it
Uh,
to him. They're like, "What the hell is going on? I didn't know that was going on in their house." So, what made you decide like it's okay to go public about this?
oh, it was definitely like it was a real. I had to put some real thought into that. I had to really think about if I was going to expose my dad or not, and I didn't think about it as exposing at the time. I was just kind of like, I need to get this off my chest because he ain't going to hear me out. And the internet, I already trained myself over years that like that's where my safety net was, right? The internet. That's not a great place to put it, but that's where it was during the time of me making this decision to start talking about my narcissistic father, right? And he's really just my dad, but you know, for context of new people joining, um, I I was just kind of like, you know I ain't the only person in the world going through this, and I feel like I have an understanding here that actually what the early stage of this, to be honest with you, that's the later part. The early stage of this was I wanted to feel like I was a part of a community of people, and I knew how to make content that could reach a community of people. So I decided to just start talking about it because I felt like I needed support in that,
Mm-hmm.
because my father wasn't offering that support. Like he ain't even aware of like what he's doing. He's how he is, and that's absolutely okay. I'm gonna go see this man this weekend for his birthday, but like
Mm-hmm.
fine, you know. But at the time, I was just like, I was so fed up with the dude that like I wasn't like a vengeful kind of way. Like I was like, I'm gonna like ruin your like perception of me, your perception of the world. And I had hatred. I had major hatred at the time, and because I knew I was gonna be big. I just knew it, and I just know it now, with way better intentions now, of course. But I knew it was gonna be big, and I didn't want him coming through being like acting like he owns me or has any access to anything that I've built. And I wanted to make that very, very clear.
Mm-hmm. So, two questions. We have not spoken about your mother.
Mm.
So, as it pertains to the trauma that you experienced in your household, were you all living together?
Yes, but my mom was dealing with the trauma as well. So like my mom was the victim just as much as I was the victim, even though he's a victim too, but we were the ones experiencing the internal like expressions of his trauma.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and my mom's lovely. She's like she got out of there. She built self-worth. She's open-minded, and I'm helping her on her journey. It's a really great thing. My mom has not done much for me that I consider bad or something I
Mm-hmm.
can't work through.
Mm-hmm. So, do you have any siblings? Is it just you?
Oh yeah, I got siblings,
Oh,
and they all hate the guy. They all hate him,
wow. Oh,
except for my
wow.
little sister. My little sister's too young.
Yeah.
She's like about to turn 7.
Mm.
I have a brother. I can't say any of their names, but
Mm.
I have a brother who, I think he's 12 now. He's going to turn 13 this year. And then I
Mm.
have a sister who's 10 months younger than me. She's 18, or
Oh,
19 now.
wow. Oh, wow. So, y'all are all siblings?
I just gave away the, okay, sorry about
Oh,
that.
yeah, you gave away your almost.
Almost, yeah.
So, you guys all have the same parents, right?
So my sisters, we have the same dad, but my
Okay.
brother, we have the same parents both. That created, I think you can kind of get an understanding of what that is, right? My dad was not faithful, right? And I knew that like since I was a little kid. Like I met all the people that he cheated on my mom with. That's
Mm.
not a great look. Like, but I'm working through those relationship wounds, so it's not a big deal. But
Yeah. Well, the reason why I asked that is because, number one, I'm not sure if I knew that you had siblings, but two, I'm sure that everybody has their own experience and perception of your dad and of the situation, whether it be the involvement they had with him or their age. So that's the reason why I asked that, because it sounds like you have a perception of it all to where you don't hate him, and that's your siblings. They have to deal with that however they choose to, and it's their right. So are you the only one besides you and your sister that kind of like trying to perceive why he is the way he is, or why you guys experience him the way that you do?
Oh, my sister isn't even doing that. She's too caught in like her own trauma responses right now and like being chaotic and still wanting my dad's approval. She's still playing the little kid. She has not evolved her emotional state. Um, in fact, she found it really interesting the last time we hanged out when I was hanging around dad. She's like, "Who are you? Like,
Mm-hmm.
why are you acting like this?" It was
Mm-hmm.
just, in fact, she kind of like pushed me away for it. She hated me for it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Um, because I just wasn't matching how she felt about dad anymore.
Right.
I only
Right.
held that anger for a few years, but
Mm-hmm.
that anger consumes you, you know? And
Mm-hmm.
I was so tired of being angry because anger is not an awesome emotion. And I don't want that to be my normal state. So I
Yeah.
just like, fuck it. I'm going to
Yeah.
like work on whatever the hell's going on here. I didn't even know it was going to lead me back to where I am, but I love the guy.
Wow. I ain't gonna lie, man. I'll be like your sister. That's how I know I still got work to do. But I
Mhm.
appreciate you sharing that, because I like for people to see humans in different states. Like I have a sister, we're twins, and we lived in the same household, but our experiences with our parents are completely different. So I like to talk about that. Not that anybody's good or bad or better or worse, but we all have the right to perceive things the way that we do and experience them the way that we do and work through it the way that we do. So I didn't want to shy away from that and not talk about it, because I felt it was important. It's okay to be where you are. We're all different.
Exactly.
So I also wanted to kind of go back just a little bit, because I don't think we've talked about exactly, and hopefully you're comfortable with this. You could let me know if not, but wanted to know like exactly what kind of things that you were experiencing living with a narcissistic father.
I was treated like property. I feel like that's the simplest way to put it. Like, my emotional state and what I cared about was not in question. That was not on the table. And, he made it seem like it was, but it really wasn't. Like, I played basketball for as many years as I did, not because I wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want to play anymore after 10 years old, but I played for 4 more years because it's the only thing that you told me ever made you happy. And I didn't have a sense of like self identity because you didn't give me space to develop one. Um, and he still actually holds major hatred to me towards that, but that's his business. That's not mine.
That's right.
It's a little bit of physical abuse as a kid, but like young. I don't know. It didn't make that big of an impact on me. But it was just the constant like basketball. Um, I had to perform well, or like he would yell and scream at me for the 2 hour drive we have back to the house. And like that's what I started to become afraid of as a little kid. I'm like people thought like I'd play really well for like, because I wanted to score a lot of points. No, if I scored a certain amount of points, that meant I get a peaceful ride back to the house.
Mm-hmm.
And when I didn't, that could lead to like an ass whooping. That can lead to like a bunch of things, right? Um, I just kind of experienced a very consistent level of manipulation and emotional abuse and neglect, like 100% of the day.
Mm-hmm.
And that wasn't very helpful. And I also kept his secrets. Like I go with him to like mistresses' houses,
Mm-hmm.
and they cook me food, and I'd sit there and do homework and act like nothing was happening over
Right.
there.
Because what you gonna say? What your
Right?
dad?
What the fuck am I gonna say? I'm gonna be stranded over here. One day I had enough though. I like blew up. It was actually at my sister's mom's house,
Mm,
and I just blew up and I just left the house. I ran like 3 miles away.
mm,
I was just done. I was so tired of all that, like, because then like, well, what you doing? Why you? And then like you go home to my mom. No, what is this? Like it didn't make any sense to me as a kid. Like, why are you like treating my mom this way?
yeah.
But I didn't know what the fuck to think. Like I was absolutely in the palm of his hand as a little
Right.
kid.
Yeah.
All I wanted was for him to be happy.
Mm,
And I'd do anything to make that happen as a little kid.
mm-hmm.
It was not a good process, but I picked him to be here. So, I mean, it got me to where I am right now. So I
Yeah.
chose that level of trauma for a reason.
Mm. So I also wanted to ask you what your family says about your content because it's everywhere. You on TikTok, you on Instagram, and it's reaching a lot of people. So what does your mom have to say about it? Of course, what does your dad have to say about it? And also your not immediate family, non-immediate. So cousins, friends, peers, your mama friends, your daddy friends. Like what they gotta say? Because I know you're talking. Not with
Where
your
is
mama.
Yeah, okay, there we go. My mom really supports me because she's seen how much I've changed. Like at first she was worried because like she saw the mental health toll like having big followings was taking on me. And big followings of none of you guys on here know anything of my past, which is absolutely kind of how I want it. You can go look for it if you like. There's other accounts that were much bigger than what I'm at right now, but they weren't for good purposes, weren't good intention. And my mom knew that and she was worried. So she always tried to still push me the college route because she kept seeing me burn out.
Mm-hmm.
But now she's 100% supportive and I'm working to afford her so that she
Yes.
can be my business operations. But so she's the number one supporter. My little brother thinks I'm a monk. Um,
Mm. You give
yeah,
a little monk vibe, just a little bit.
my grandma doesn't really understand what I'm doing, but knows that it's going to help the world and therefore bring a lot of abundance of wealth in. So she
Now, which
wants to.
which which grandma is this? Mom or dad's mom?
Ooh, my mom's grandma. She's the one who lives with us. I love her. She's been in my life the whole time. The other just knows that I grow big followings. I know how to market. That's all she understands. My auntie is actually a huge supporter of mine. I'll talk to you about that another time. But she's a huge supporter of mine. Um, my dad and my sisters. Well, my little sister just sees me like a child, like because I kind of am when I'm around her. I get to be like a little kid. Um, but my sister and my dad see me as like a hippie. So like everyone sees me completely differently. And that's their right. It's not my job to, I'm this and you should start calling me this. No, it's not necessary. You can call me a hippie, you can call me a narcissist, you can call me whatever you please. And I just stopped I realized how everyone's perception of me was completely different and I just be wasting my time trying to get everyone to look at me the same.
That part. Yep. So,
Yeah,
what do
so
they say about your content? Like, if I know if it were me and somebody's making content centered around my soul experience with them, and I don't agree with how, the light that they see me in, I don't know how I would feel. So, as it
my
pertains
dad
to that, mhm.
my dad talked to me about it a little bit, but I just kind of looked at him like there ain't nothing you can do. It's like it would be different if I wasn't talking to him and talking all this shit about him, right? It's a very different thing. But I think what's really fucking with him is like I'm talking about all this stuff on the internet, but I still want to have a relationship with you. I still
Right.
want to love you, and I think it shows that the intention isn't to make him look like a bad person. Like
Mm,
there's older videos that I've had that are like people who cut off their toxic families. You're doing a great thing. Blah 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 blah. Um, there's that, right? Which is something. But though that was just energy of hatred. You know, it performed well, but it's just a
yeah.
bunch of people who also hate their parents. Like, no, that's
Yeah.
not it. And
Yeah.
I just decided, like, after time, I think he's just okay with it. Strangely, he's probably not, but he hasn't confronted me about it. Yeah, my dad doesn't confront me about it. That's the only one I talk about. I don't talk about any of my other siblings because I knew my sister wouldn't take it well. She
Hmm.
definitely wouldn't take it well.
The
Like she'd
older
probably
sister.
yeah, she
Yeah.
she wouldn't take it well at all. Like she'd get really mad, I'm sure.
Hmm.
I don't talk about my mom. My mom's a lovely person, like uh I just don't feel the need to put everyone on blast, but I feel like people can learn the most from my father because he had the biggest impact on me. So I focus on that aspect the most.
Yeah. So let me know if I gather this correctly. It seems like from the different types of trauma or abuse that you experienced from your father, it sounds like the the emotional part of it and the mental part were they had the deepest impact on you. Would you say yeah?
They cut the deepest because they were the most consistent.
Mm,
Like if my dad like punched me in the face every day, yeah, that would hit, like that's cutting deep. But that didn't happen. It happened very, very rarely.
hmm.
Like it just didn't make a big enough of an impact. Like I really saw the physical abuse as actually an extension of emotional issues. And I knew that as a kid because when I got really angry, I wanted to take out that anger on my little brother, like physically.
Yeah.
But it had to do
Yeah.
with just an emotional state within me. Like, you know, emotions create the physical action, right?
Right.
So I think I just connected those two together.
And the reason I ask that is because, when we hear the word abuse, we immediately think about physical abuse. And I love that mental wellness and mental health is a topic in the forefront in society now, it seems. Of course, we still have a lot of conversations to have, but it seems like even for me sometimes when I hear abuse, literally the first thing that pops up is physical. But I want to highlight that other types of abuse, and we all know the different type. Hopefully, you got sexual abuse, you have emotional, mental, financial, and I'm sure there are others that I have not listed for whatever reason. I haven't said it, but they are just as impactful as a physical. And there's no comparison here. There is no comparison between any of them. But I don't hear a lot of people speak about emotional abuse and mental abuse as often as I would like. So that's why I wanted to ask you that, because clearly, it had enough of an impact on you to create your career is centered around what has happened to you. And a lot of people have connected with you because of the stories that you share and the content that you share. So clearly, there are a lot of people out here dealing with that, because you don't talk about physical abuse in your content. If you do, I haven't seen everything. But what I gathered when you first came across my Explore page, it was more so about emotional. And that's what hit me the most, because of my trauma. I haven't experienced, for the most part, physical. I got my ass whooped, but that was a lot of black kids. Like, we got our ass whooped.
Right.
Doesn't mean it wasn't physical abuse, but for me, what left the biggest imprint on my heart and hole in my heart was the emotional and the verbal abuse. So I really want to highlight that, because I think because, we may get yelled at, or, somebody makes a promise and they don't fulfill it and they keep doing that. We don't think that stings or it hurts, but it does. And after you endure that for long enough, you grow up into a big human, not even, because all of us ain't grown, but sometimes some of us just grow up, or get bigger. And then you start dating, or you get in relationships, or you try to form friendships, and they go AWOL, and it's like, well, why can't I make friends, or why can't I keep a relationship? You don't know how to deal with people. And there was someone in your life, your caregiver, it doesn't have to be mom or dad, whoever cared for you the most. Are you there?
I'm here.
Okay, sorry, it had cut off for a second. But yeah, there was something in that origin of a relationship that you didn't get, that you were supposed to get. And that was actually in reference to the conversation. That was the conversation I had with my mom. And she was like, so you're trying to tell me that, like, something that happened when I was a kid may be affecting these relationships? And I'm like, yeah. Like, for me, it was just a knowing. I thought, most people knew that, but people don't know that. And again, don't assume that because you weren't physically abused, that the mental and the verbal and the emotional doesn't hit just as deep. So I say that to say, if there's somebody on here that is experiencing some abuse but they don't really recognize it, think about it. If just because they're not hitting you, if you're left feeling like you got a hole, or you feel like shit every time you talk to somebody or deal with somebody, really analyze that and figure out if it's another form of abuse that you're dealing with. So I'll get off my soapbox, but not enough
I'd like
conversation.
to add,
Yeah, go ahead, please.
if you don't feel calm and happy or in control of your emotional state, it means you've been emotionally abused. Simple. If you cannot sustain whatever you want to feel, then that means you have experienced something in your past that is holding you from that feeling.
Say that one more time.
Oh shit, what the hell did I say? See, that's the issue. When I say like heart-centered stuff, I don't really remember
it. From the heart.
Okay.
You said something along the lines of, if you don't feel safe. Somebody said, whoop, child. It's okay. You don't got to say it again. The people got it. Y'all replay it. So let's see. I have some more questions for you.
Go ahead.
We talked about that. So you make content that to some can be viewed as very heavy, but I think the way that you present it, the way I view it, you have a calmness about you. There's a pureness in a sense about you, and you don't share it like in a demeaning way, but you're very direct, and the message still comes across. Mac Aliniana, I'm sorry if I'm messing it up. She says she has shivers down her spine.
I would
If you
like a
don't,
video about that. Let's the whole world must need to hear that one apparently.
yeah, that's why I was like, run that back real quick.
Or emotional abuse. Thank you so much for writing that. Go ahead,
Yeah,
continue with your question. I'll just
I'll
take
read it for you. If you don't feel like you can hold your emotional state, then you've experienced mental abuse or he said mental, yeah, or emotional abuse. He got it. Thank
yeah.
you for that, Dom XX baby. Appreciate you.
Mm.
Um, yeah, you don't. I love people that are very direct. Say what you gotta say, but say it in love. Do not sugarcoat it for me. Do not dance around, and walk on eggshells. Say what you gotta say, because people can't heal and grow if you're always withholding something that somebody needs to hear. Say what you gotta say, but say it in love. I really feel like that's how your content comes across. It's like you're like a cousin or something, the hippie cousin. I'm not calling you a hippie, but it's the hippie cousin, the real Zen cousin that be like, you know what, man? And how did that make you feel? You know what you need to do? Like, it's really chill and it's great advice that people need to hear, but it's gentle, but it's still assertive. So I love that about your content. But I say all that to say it can come across as heavy content because most people don't want to admit to their traumas, right? But how do you have fun? Is it easy for you to have fun? Do you like to laugh? Like, what's your friend
Yeah.
circle like? Okay, you have a good time?
Yeah, life is so much fun. Like all of life is so much fun. Like some of my favorite moments actually are when like let's just with myself and not talk about friendships and all that. Like a morning I'll be waking up and dealing with some form of trauma response in my body that's really heavy. It's making my mind really loud. I'm getting anxious, whatever it is. And then like 20 minutes later, I'll be in the shower, right? After I did my mobility workout or whatever. And I'll be like, holy shit, none of it fucking matters. Like, we're like, holy shit, like, it's all just thoughts. And I just need to breathe. And I just
Yep.
take a couple deep breaths, tears would come down my face, and I'd start laughing at the fact that, like, that experience was so perfect. Like, the fact that I could perfectly experience the suffering of my body, and I could now
Mhm.
perfectly, just moments after, experience the love and happiness. Like, I just thought that was like such a crazy thing. Like for me, I love stuff like that. That's fun
Yeah.
for me. Cooking breakfast, I'm actually about to go do that right after this. That's fucking awesome. I play some music, dance around, or listen to a podcast, whatever I want. Like
Yes.
every moment of life can be fun. Is like I'm gonna use a very religious thing here, but it works. It works for this. I might butcher it, but the idea still matters. Jesus said, only the people who can enter into heaven are people who are childlike, essentially, is what he was saying. And heaven's here. From my understanding, that's what the fuck
Yes.
he's talking about. Like, it's you being able to experience life childlike,
Mm.
have trust, to be innocent, to be loving, to be all those things. And all of the traumas and all that just made you a little murky. It's okay. Your
Yeah.
water's a little unclean right now, but you can always clean it. And you have all the tools that you need at your disposal or within sources on the internet that you trust to give you the tools that you need to clean your water.
Yeah. I like that. We got a question.
Yeah.
Um, so first of all, somebody said they appreciate us both. We appreciate you. So, Brain Dr. Chris, he says, first, thank you for this great conversation. Thank you for being here and you are welcome. He's a psychiatrist. Love that. He says, as a psychiatrist, I recommend a number of grounding techniques to people to use in their emotional toolbox. As someone who lived with experience of trauma, what ones do you do that work best? I am going to get to that question. I love that question. That's actually coming up really soon. So hopefully you stick around because it's coming up super, super soon. I just want to stay like, on the flow of things. So I'm going to read some other comments. Thank you for that question. Happy to answer it. Dana Monique, shout out to her. She was one of our guests on a Soul Seed Conversation. She says, be the lotus. Absolutely.
Michael Molina. Oh my gosh, bro. Sorry, I went to high school with him.
What's up,
What's up,
Mike?
dude? What's up, man?
So I also see a comment on here from Let Your Soul Sparkle. She said, yes, whatever it was, honey, yes, back to you. I love y'all. Love y'all always being here and being so engaging. So I love that you answered that question the way that you did, because I know some people that get really into mental wellness work, really into their spirituality, and they lose the fun of life. And I always hear people say, this is also in the Bible, but they say, he said, "What up, Mike?" um, they say things like, don't be so spiritually bound that you're no earthly good or something like that. That's not just for religious people. That's for people in general. Don't get so in your head and it's so much up here, so high that you cannot enjoy life. Listen, this morning I had to go put on my skates, literally, because I knew that was going to make me feel like a kid again. I wanted to feel free. And that was something that I like to tap into that reminds me of my childhood. So while the psychiatrist was asking, what things can you do for me, that's exactly what I did this morning. But every day is going to look different. Whatever I need, whatever my spirit needs, is going to look different. But I love that you are still playful. I love that you still enjoy life. Because people that do this work that you do, they can be a little uptight, a little serious. So,
Yeah, they think that, like, oh my God, all this shit's happened to me. Now I got to spend the rest of my life cleaning it up. No,
right.
like, this ain't this. What is this? This is
Yeah.
not a messy house, and you're the maid who has to clean it. That's not what's happening here. This is just simply like all of these little versions of you who at one point were expressive, were happy, are no longer expressive, and all you need to do is give them the space to do so. Like,
That's right. Right.
life is the expression of the love within you, but love is truly childlike. It doesn't really
So
have complex thinking. It's just, I love you, and I don't need to have a reason to love you.
that's
Like,
it.
that's it. And that's also why some of my content is challenging to people, because, well, they're like, well, why? Well, I'm like, I don't really need to have a reason. Like, why not?
Yeah. Oh, I love that. I love that so much. So happy to hear that you are still enjoying life, because it's hard. It's a lot of stuff that we go through. There's some things that we're going through that we didn't deserve, and whatever your religious belief is or your world belief is, there are different reasons why you may feel that we experience certain things. But at the end of the day, guess what? No matter what you believe, there is still work to do. Period. You have to do the work, but you also have to experience this beautiful gift that we have called life. You got to do it.
Thanks, bro.
Mike said, preach, Mike. All right. So what's the ultimate goal, Mikah, in the work that you are doing?
I want to make healing accessible for the world. And that doesn't necessarily mean people who believe they're on the journey, just people in general. Like, there's people, like, the real people who need help are people in entertainment, not the actors, not those people, the people who are watching them. Like,
Yeah.
teaching those people through stories and characters how to actually take care of themselves by showcasing characters who do take care of themselves, that do have healthy behaviors and healthy relationships.
Yes.
I want to help people who are going to become the future leaders of this world, the entrepreneurs of this world, the creators of this world. Like, I don't want to get stuck at being like, I'm only trying to help people get on this seeking path. Not really. Like, where I'm at in my journey, I don't really tell too much about, because it's not usually where a lot of people are at. And I don't need to tell everyone about my journey in that way. That's why, like, the account's about people and where they're at. It ain't got nothing to do with me. I just share the story when I think it's appropriate. And that's honestly, like, the biggest goal. I want to bring wellness to the world, well-being to the world. Because if every person is happier, holy shit, we make better decisions. We're not shooting people. This is triggering, but we're not shooting people in schools. We're not going to war. We're not doing any of those things. We are just wanting to help and love other people. Think about when you were most in love with your partner or most happiest in your life. You do not want to do anything but share that shit with another person. That's it. It's the only thing that's going through your head. Not a bullet, not wanting to kill yourself. Absolutely not. All those things are just byproducts of unprocessed trauma. That's it.
You better talk about it, honey. He got a collection plate, y'all. That's for Mike right there. Pass it around, y'all. That's for Mike.
That's what the book's going to be about. Book about that.
Make that post. Yes, make that post. I'm glad that you touched on that, and I'm also glad that you talked about wanting to make content for the future leaders, because man, this generation that's coming up now, I made it on the cusp. We were still outside, playing outside, no iPads, all that stuff. I cannot imagine being a teenager growing up in this world with everything going on and knowing about it. When I was growing up, I didn't know about a lot of the crazy shit that was happening in the world. So I'm so glad, number one, that you exist. Number two, that you understand why you had to go through what you went through. I love that you've processed it and you've turned it around and you've made it something different. You don't just sit and say, well, I went through this and that's it. Like, you are really wanting to help people, but you've also done the work, because I see a lot of people that go into wellness work and they're trying to heal at the same time that they're trying to help other people. And don't misconstrue what I'm saying, because we're all on the journey still, right? But there's some people that you're literally watching unravel while they're trying to help you get your life together. And I don't think that's the healthiest place to be in. So shout out to you for doing your work before you try to help a lot of people. But these young people, they need it. So
there's and that's like the idea that I'm pushing to them, is make yourself scalable internally so that you can scale externally.
Ooh, that part.
Yeah, like that's a big one for me.
No, I love that. I love how you put it. I wanted you. It's a lady, San Jalisa. Sorry if I'm messing that up. Mike, you helped me so much with your approach. It's just what I needed. Greetings from Croatia. Okay.
And also,
Greetings
just for the heads up here for people who are wanting to do deeper work with me, because I feel like that's something that I've been missing. Like, I make so much content, but like, people are like, well, what do I do? How do I put this into practice? I'm setting something up very soon called the Healing Space, that's going to be with me and my psychotherapist friend, and we're going to be holding group experiment sessions. I can't call them therapy sessions because I'm not a therapist, but I'm going to give you everything that I've ever learned on the journey. But most importantly, like, one thing that I really want to make like very clear is, like, what I say is not fact. It is my truth and how I got to where I am. But how you're going to get to where you are is not going to be on the same, taking the same ingredients and doing the same shit I did. I'm just giving you access to everything, and I'm going to give you room to customize it and make it appropriate for yourself. That's the biggest goal. But like, I can't do that alone. So that's like one of the things I'm working on right now.
I love that. And I think that's why our brands really coincide so much, because we want the same things. We want people to, here's something that you should consider. Here's what this person did. It doesn't mean it's going to be your journey, but hear this, be inspired by this, take this and make it what you want to make it for your journey, right? And also just wanting people to be well and wanting people to love again, even though they've experienced trauma. I love that about your brand, because I'm trying to do the same thing. I love that. MVN, I'm butchering these names. I'm sorry. MVIN Lillian, ILLI, girl, I am so sorry. It says, thank you so much for your post. It helps me a lot. I think she's talking about you, Mikah. And then she also sent another one. She says, thanks so much for all your posts. It helps me a lot. And then Sister Big Bone said, wow, something we said made her go, wow. And then B. Benton, this is Mama Beth. She says, come on, you two, with the knowledge and youthful wisdom. She's also in her 50s. To hear you say that warms my heart.
We all want to do the work, and I feel like I'm finally ready to help people do a little bit deeper work. You know,
yeah,
videos are scratching the surface. Like,
yes.
Like, recently I was helping a friend of mine who was, like, he's very financially successful, but he has not made himself scalable internally. And he was having a very heavy heart with all the stuff he was doing. I'll make this quick, but I just sat with him, and within 30 minutes, this man was crying at the amount of love and happiness that he was experiencing within himself. He let it all go. And I was so happy for the fact that I was able to guide him to such a place within himself. And his income actually the next month tripled because of that. Because of the more loving energy he brought to the situation.
Yes.
It was amazing. It was an amazing experience.
Thank you for sharing that. I also love to see men doing their work. That shit is sexy. I keep trying to tell people that is the new sexy. So shout out to you for doing yours and helping other men. It's beautiful. I love that. M. Harris, mine and my girl Markeisha, she says internally scalable is deep. Yes. Please watch the replay. Go ahead, Mike.
Make a video on that. I need to
write that down.
So I don't have a post-it note. Someone send me a DM of that, or I'll just take a screenshot. How about that? Internally scalable. I'm gonna start making content I really like that idea. Make yourself scalable internally before you choose to make yourself scalable externally.
Yes. So it's a solid proof says yes, love your shirt. Thank you, girl. It's on our website, soulriseessentials.com.
Get that. Get that. Like I don't promote people that I don't believe in. This is one of the ladies that I believe in that is pure in the heart. And she's
Oh,
representing something that I can't represent. I'm not a mama. I don't have kids, but I know there's plenty of you guys out there that are looking for that support, and I think she can offer it to you.
that's so sweet. Thank you. That's why I put a little heart right here, right by my heart. So sweet. I love that. Azure Blue said, I have to watch the replay. Yes, you do go watch the replay, but I'm happy you still made it here. So we are going to get to that question. We're going to wrap it up in just a little bit, y'all. This has been great, Micah. I really appreciate you. I do want to ask you, well, go ahead. Let's answer that question from, oh yeah, Azure just got her shirt. Shout out to you. She got it in yellow. So I wanted to go ahead and read this comment again. Do you remember? Hold on. How about this? What do you do, Mikah? And that simply means exactly what Brain Dr. Chris asks. What are you doing to thrive? What are you doing to stay well?
There is so many things that you can do for yourself, but there's three centers that I focus on: breath, stillness, and movement. When you breathe, how you breathe directly correlates how you feel in your body. How you feel in your body directly correlates to what you're thinking in your mind. Your mind and body, their only job is to be in alignment with each other. When I do breathworks, there's some that are just called diaphragm breathing. I have a video up on my account about it. Just breathing deep into your diaphragm and expanding that and letting it contract. Deep. If you want to release something like an emotion, you release it through your mouth. If you're trying to create focus and alignment within your body, you do it all through your nose. There's millions of breathing techniques out there that I'm working on trying to put into like mini guided practice for people to try. That way, that for people who do want to do deeper work, they can. But I know people just need to start, and that's something I'm working on.
Pause.
Meditation.
I'm gonna make a shirt that says "Take a deep breath." That's gonna be our next shirt, or coming up soon.
Go for
ahead.
it. Or we could do an affirmation and say, breathe that in.
Yeah.
That's always what I say in my guided practices, and people really like that. It's like, affirmation, and I go, breathe that in. Okay, anyways, I'm done looking like hippie unholy on camera. Anyways, so like there's meditation, but not everyone likes to sit still. And that's okay. I could not sit still for the longest fucking time. Like my friend used to tell me, you need to sit. And I was like, I can't. It's my body was aching, my mind was racing, I couldn't do it. But then I started adding yoga. Ooh, that changed the game.
Yeah.
Because you got to alchemize your body, relax your muscles, and now I'm more calm in my body. Now stillness and meditation was possible. So those are the three pillars. I just do spiritual practice. For other people, I would suggest if you are in a very strong and struggling mental health state, try antidepressants and start a spiritual practice. Let them work with each other. If you can afford therapy, do therapy. Take a screenshot of that if you think any of these merch suggestions are good. We're working together on merch, by the way. Just had to say that.
I was trying to keep it a secret.
Sorry.
It's okay.
This is a very small percentage of our audience. It's okay. Right. Oh gosh, I was about to say. If you can afford therapy, do therapy. Yeah. If you can afford therapy, do therapy and add a lifestyle change. Lifestyle change should really do some yoga or something like that. Everyone should try yoga. I do it every morning. Absolutely recommend. But yoga is so much more than just, I'm stretching, and I'm looking flexible and posing and performing on camera. That's not it at all. Yoga is a mind practice. Yoga is for your heart. Yoga is to get you aligned here. But by
Uh-oh. Can y'all still see me? Or is it my phone that's messing up? Let me know down in the comments if I'm frozen, if y'all can hear me. What is happening? Uh-oh, he left. All right, I'm pretty sure he's gonna come back in. All right. Sorry about that, y'all. I'm not sure what happened. Okay, you still see me? Okay. There we go.
I
There we
got
go. There we
kicked
go.
out.
You were dropping that heat. Okay, she said.
Yeah, see,
Okay.
the Instagram couldn't handle it. Instagram couldn't
Yeah, they couldn't
handle it.
handle it. They couldn't handle it. Let me leave you some comments real quick before you finish. I know you were sharing
Oh
some
man.
things, but these comments are going by so fast. Well, first of all, the brain doc, he really liked your response about yoga. He did the preacher hands. We got
Yeah.
some merch ideas.
Yoga, like,
We got some merch ideas.
if you want me
Huh?
to hear something I was considering, and I think I'm going to try this, is I wanted to, for people who are interested in getting into yoga, I'm not a yoga teacher, but I've been doing yoga. I do yoga like 4 or 5 times a day, and I'm okay
Mhm.
doing one of those sessions teaching people some beginner poses for your body. I'm
Come
not
do a
going to be no
live.
yoga teacher.
Do a live. Why don't you do a live and do yoga with us?
Oh, an IG live, that ain't going to be it. That's not going to work. It
Oh,
would definitely have to be a
okay.
Zoom. I can't
Okay,
trust
so
the connection on here. I can trust it on Zoom a lot.
prime example,
Yeah.
right?
I would like
So
to
shout
teach
out
people some
to
yoga. Yeah.
let's when you make that happen, let us know and I'll
John,
let my audience know.
how you doing?
Um, Shout out to It's
Okay.
Solid Proof. She said, I'm not a mama and I want one of those shirts. Love that. I'm gonna keep going down. I see Markeisha says we should do the shirt that says the breathing thing. What you say, breathe in, breathe that in, and then breathe it out on the back. That would be dope. Don't y'all steal my ideas now. We coming for you. And then Beth said, breathe in life, exhale love. Love that. You did read this comment already. Everybody should try yoga. We talked about that. Your friend Mike from school says, I support this. And let's see. Sorry, I'm trying to play catch up. I was going to ask if you would consider doing some yoga videos. Yeah, coming soon on
Not
a Zoom.
Naya.
Naya, are you talking to Naya?
I'm just gonna say this is not the place to trauma dump. We're here to support you, but we can't help you like that through the live. You got to show up for yourself right now. Show up for those emotions. You don't need to express them to us. Just express them to yourself.
Yeah,
Okay.
sending you major love because I've seen a couple comments there. You did share your techniques for wellness. You talked about breath work. You talked about yoga. Was there anything else?
I mainly do those two because that's what my body needs right now. I do journaling, meditative journaling. If you guys want to try that, there's so much you can do for yourself. It's just about like take a moment, get in your body, listen to what your energy is calling you to do, and do that for yourself.
Yeah,
Like,
I love that.
it's there's so many tools out there, but you just have to know what works for you. And like,
Yeah,
there's just a
and
list
I'm
of things
glad you
that I
said that because
personally do. Yeah.
there's so much out there that people get overwhelmed. And I see people asking, well, how do I get started on my spiritual journey? You close your eyes and pray and meditate and find the answer. It's only your journey. Don't get overwhelmed because there's so much stuff out here that you can do. But the reason I asked Mikah is because, we're talking about Mikah today. And I wanted to see for his journey specifically what tools he uses on his journey. And it be something that you can consider if you're not already doing it. So I just wanted to throw that out there too.
Yeah,
Micah.
yeah, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I think there's like a glitch in the system now. Like, um, I wanted to ask you what advice for fellow influencers in your niche do you have? And I'm going to do a caveat to that. When we did the collab on the post, go look at our TikTok and our Facebook, y'all. I'm sorry, our Instagram. We have some collaborative posts, right? When I saw how many notifications you get, I'm like, how does he deal with this on a daily? Like, talk to me about that. What advice do you have for fellow influencers in your niche?
You need to be making content from a place that's within your heart. You need to take your ego out of it. You don't need this to be fulfilling any form of need for you.
Mm,
Think about what you're putting up on the internet as an expression of your being, and leave it at that. Like, what I put out, it's just an expression of my truth, but most importantly, a service to other people's hearts. Doesn't necessarily mean like that's why the engagement isn't what it used to be in my past, but it's not designed for that. Like, thankfully, one, don't tie your self-worth or your monetary income to how consistent your engagement can be on a platform. That is easily will set you up for failure, like easily set you up, because like you have to constantly be a slave. Your heart is literally a slave to the algorithm, right? Your financial security is a slave to the algorithm. My money is not tied up in this. What I make for myself is not tied up in this. And you need to make sure that that's like what it is for you too. And whatever that means and however you provide that value, just make sure that you can serve from a place that doesn't require you to be a slave to the algorithm. I had a very ramble answer on that, but I won't get too much.
No, I love it. That's why we're here to talk. I love that, and I love everything that you shared. I wanted to also ask you 2 more questions, and we'll go ahead and wrap up. Well, I guess you kind of answered this. I was going to say, what advice would you give to fellow influencers as it pertains to mental health? But I feel like you just answered that, and one of your earlier questions also answered that. So I think we're good on that. Lastly, how old are you, my friend?
I'm about to turn 20 in 10 days.
10 days. Yo.
Yeah.
I don't know if y'all knew how old he was. I just couldn't. I think it's the mustache that like threw me off. And I'm like, I don't know how old he is. Like, but I was just blown away when I found out your age. Because at 19, and I know you feel nobody should be comparing, and it's not really that. It's just like, just wow, to see like the calmness and the love and the wisdom and everything that's oozing out of you at 19. What you laughing at?
My friend's like, dang, he's old.
No, it's amazing to me. And I know that everybody watching that was not familiar with you, or that was, and they didn't know how old you were, I know they're really impressed. I'm very impressed by you. And I just want to say thank you for doing your work. I want to say thank you for also contributing your life's work to other people's life work. It's a beautiful thing. And I can't wait to see everything that God has in store for you. And thank you for coming on my platform and sharing space, sharing love, and just being so open. I don't know you, but I love you. I think you are an amazing person. So
I
just
love you too.
Thank you. Is there anything that you want to say? And we do have some comments to read real quick, but is there anything that we didn't touch on that you want to touch
on? Yeah, there's something I just want to say. All of you guys here are so perfect beyond measure. It's a beautiful thing. Like, no matter where you are, the fact that you're experiencing what you're experiencing can only be possible through the perfection that you are. Life is a happening, and it's always happening. And I want nothing more for you to then embrace your happening. Embrace your perfection. And perfection is not pleasured emotions, happiness. Perfection is all of it. And you are all of it.
I love that. Thank you so much. I almost started crying. That was beautiful. And I know for a fact that touched multiple people. I know it's going to touch multiple people that happen to watch this. Hey to YouTube, hey to Facebook, wherever this may land. I think it's beautiful that both Mikah and I have connected. And I feel like our hearts are in the same place. We just want to see you well. So thank y'all for watching this episode. You can tune in next month for our next episode, episode 10. Watch out for the promo for that. Drop a sunshine emoji if you made it to the end. Also, drop some emojis down in the comments if you are watching the replay. If something resonated with you, definitely keep engaging with us. Stay tuned to Soul Rise Essentials, to Mikah Jones's platform. And if you haven't checked out his content, please do. It will bless your life if you've experienced any type of trauma. What you say, Mikah?
Oh, my friend was just saying, I love you, Mike. We should hang out soon. I love you too, bro. You have my number, so just text me.
Also, Dom XX Baby says, can we talk about these curls? They said, what products do you
Oh, okay.
use?
Here, I'll put it in the chat for people.
All right. He
I
says,
think it.
I don't know if it's a he or she, but they said, appreciate this live and all the words of wisdom. Definitely know this speaks to me and hopefully everyone in this live. Love that. Love you. Thank you for sharing. We got some hearts from Om Nakaya Shalon. I am so sorry. Thank you for the love. I'm scrolling and making sure I didn't miss. Somebody said, yo, shut the front door when you said you were 20. That was Sister Big Bones. Um, Oh my God, can y'all not hear us? Somebody said the audio is gone. What?
That could just be for them. Don't worry. That's what. If they didn't hear you, there's no way that they would have added the sunshines to the comments.
Oh, okay, you see them. Okay. And then Markeisha says, happy early birthday. Happy birthday, Micah! And then she also says, very impressive and helpful. Thank you both. You are so welcome. Sovereign Nene is giving us some love in the comments as well. We got some hearts from Is Solid Proof. Dom. I
Thank you.
love you, Mike. We should hang out soon. He got that message. What's up, Kanisha girl? Thank you for the love. Thank y'all for the sunshines. I just want to
Thank
acknowledge everybody before we head out. What you say,
you.
Micah?
Oh, I'm just reading some of the comments back to them. Yeah.
Oh, Dom says I'm a girl. Sorry, sis. Hey, sis. And then he put his stuff in the comments for his hair. Go ahead and screenshot. I'm not gonna say it because we're not doing no promos or nothing like that. But go ahead and get your life in those comments. Get them curls popping. Namrata Kosla, I'm sorry if it's wrong, says thank you. You're so welcome. Yoronda says, even as an elder, it is needed. I love you and all you're doing. Thank you so much. I appreciate you tapping in from my Facebook page.
Dr. Chris, if you're looking to like expand the practices you offer to your patients, I believe that they're called clients or patients, send me a DM. We can figure something out. I'm making a playlist and I can just give you access to it or something.
Love that. Thank you for joining us, Brain Dr. Chris. I love anything neuroscience, and I know you're a psychiatrist, but I love that so many psychiatrists, psychologists, therapists, mental health workers, I love that y'all join these lives. It's beautiful. T-Spot, hey, Tiffany. Mutawa, I'm so sorry, y'all. I'm so sorry. You guys always make my day. Thank you so much for being here. Beth says, great conversation. Appreciate the transparency.
Of course, Benson.
Ashan Gurung says, Micah, I'm your biggest fan. No, I'm his biggest fan, but thank you for being a fan. No, I'm just joking. Well, that's it, y'all. Where can they find you, Micah?
On Instagram and on my podcast and the link in my bio if you're looking to get more expanded versions of my thoughts rather than a 30 or 60-second video. And then I'm going to start adding mini guided meditations there to go with some of the videos, go with the podcast. Because I know that that's something that, like, great, that idea is so cool. How the hell do I put it into practice? So I try and give them a meditation that gets them on that path. And if they want to do deeper work and go farther, then of course they can always work with me one-on-one or in group.
Love that. Love that. So we getting some love from India. Tiffany says mental health care is very important. It really is. And y'all can follow me, Soul Rise Essentials, and you can check out my affirmation apparel for adults and for children at soulriseessentials.com. Michael says he's definitely buying some merch from us both. We love you. We appreciate you. That's it, y'all. Micah, thank you.
Of course. For people who are asking me, I have a question, I have advice. I do not give DM for advice, making that very clear. Again, I have to value my time, and I'm sorry, you need to value mine as well and value your own. But if you want to book something with me, you can always do that and send me a DM if you're serious. Okay. Talk
All
soon.
right, y'all. Thank you, Micah. Have a great day. All right, y'all. So I'm going to stay on for a few moments and just wanted to express my gratitude to you, to the Soul Tribe family for making this wellness podcast a success. I just love doing this. And you don't have to have a big following or a fancy title. People, I'm just looking for thrivers. I'm looking for beautiful humans around the world that just want to share their stories, that want to be heard. A part of the healing process is voicing your story, putting language to your story when you are ready, right? You don't have to rush into it, but this platform is here for you. So you can email me at mystory@soulriseessentials.com. Would love to hear it. Make sure it's a good fit. Thank y'all. Have a great Thursday, and I will see y'all in the next episode of Soul Seed Conversations. Take care. Stay well. Be well. Peace, y'all.